So welcome everybody. I am so excited to share in this, and again, I'm having trouble sharing my slides. I apologize. So let's see what's happening here. Here we go. All right, let's try it again. For the third time, welcome everyone. I am so excited to have you joining me today. If we haven't met yet, my name is Laura Summers and I'm a certified integrative life coach. I'm passionate about working one-on-one and in coaching groups, guiding people to overcome core issues and develop personal action plans so that they can move effectively toward achieving their goals and living the lives that they were always meant to live. I'm also a certified Canfield Success Principles trainer, teaching 67 success principles to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And that's regardless of what success looks like to you. Success is something different and personal to each and every one of us. But I'd like you to know that whatever success looks like to you, it is achievable. So I'm going to ask you to stay with me until the end of the webinar today, and you'll receive a special offer. So I do hope that you're able to hang out. Today, I'm excited to help you to achieve better health and wellness by unlocking the secrets behind being happy every day. You know, the dictionary defines happiness as the state of being happy, which sounds obvious, but truly it's ambiguous. Other definitions include good fortune, a state of well-being and contentment, a pleasurable or satisfying experience. Still, none of these explain what happiness actually is. The field of psychology describes happiness as the experience of frequent positive emotions, emotions like joy and interest and pride, and infrequent negative emotions like sadness, anxiety, and anger. So now we're getting a little bit closer. To get more specific, I'll go with the following definition. Happiness is the appreciation of life, moments of pleasure, but overall, it has to do with the positive experience of emotions. A positive experience of emotions. So let's dig a little bit deeper. If you had a chance to watch the TED Talk by Dan Gilbert, you'd remember the example that he provided comparing happiness levels in lottery winners to those compared with quadriplegic patients. The results were surprising. He found that after 1 year of living with change, both groups leveled out at the same level of happiness. This is really surprising because we all imagine how much happier we'd be if we won the lottery, right? I know I do. I wouldn't mind trying anyway to see what happiness level that would bring. But it turns out that truly this is just a trick that our brain plays on us. Gilbert talks about studies which found after only 3 months, even major life trauma, with a few exceptions, had no impact on happiness. This is interesting truly to consider. Gilbert also explains that we are equipped with a non-conscious cognitive process that helps us change our views of the world. Okay, so let's go even deeper than that. The frontal lobe is the part of the brain located directly behind the forehead, and it is responsible for behavior and learning and personality and our voluntary movement. This is the part of the brain that separates humans from other animals. The prefrontal cortex is located in the frontal lobe. Gilbert explains this part of the brain as an experience stimulator that allows us to imagine experiences without actually having them happen. No other animal has this ability. According to Gilbert, the brain generates 2 types of happiness, natural and synthetic. He defines natural happiness as a result of getting something that we wanted, and synthetic happiness as what we make when we don't get what we wanted. Make sense? What he's saying is that it's possible to create your own happiness. However, our society has strong beliefs that synthetic happiness is inferior to natural happiness. So let's talk about why this is wrong. What we can take away from Gilbert's research is, number one, a happy life is not always about getting what you want. It's about learning to enjoy what you get. Synthetic happiness is not cheating yourself to being happier. 3, natural happiness primarily relies on external factors, whereas synthetic happiness primarily relies on internal factors. As such, synthetic happiness can be more long-term and a more stable form of happiness than natural happiness is. And number 4, general happiness in life comes from the relationship between natural happiness and synthetic happiness. Serotonin plays a part. So serotonin is considered the happy hormone, right? Because of its mood boosting effects. Lack of this hormone is associated with depression. You can give yourself a boost of serotonin, 3 different ways. Number 1, you can focus on positive memories for things that you're grateful for so that you can produce more serotonin. Number 2, you can go outside, get some sunshine. When sunshine is absorbed by our skin, vitamin D is produced, and that in turn helps the production of serotonin. And 3, low intensity exercise, like going for a walk or playing golf, boosts the release of serotonin. Then there's dopamine. Dopamine is a pleasure hormone, and it increases our drive to accomplish a goal so that we can experience the pleasure of the reward. You can also give yourself a boost of dopamine. You can do that by 1, setting specific measurable goals and achieving them. And this can be really, as choose something simple. It can be as simple as making your bed in the morning. And 2, going back to exercise, moving your body. Dopamine levels rise with serotonin during exercise. Then there's oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone, and it's released upon physical contact. From childbirth to a hug, oxytocin is there providing feelings of love and trust. So how do you boost your own oxytocin levels? Well, this is kind of fun. How about getting a massage? The prolonged physical contact actually releases oxytocin in the body. Or hug and cuddle your loved ones often. So this gives us excuses to go up and hug people for even longer hugs than we've done before, right? The ancient Greeks defined happiness like this. Happiness is the joy that we feel when we're striving after our potential. Aristotle said happiness is a state of activity. And Eleanor Roosevelt, well, she said, someone once asked me what I regarded as the 3 most important requirements for happiness. My answer was a feeling that you have been honest with yourself and those around you, a feeling that you have done the best you could, both in your personal life and in your work life, and the ability to love others. And then Michael J. Fox said, my happiness grows in direct proportion to my acceptance and in inverse proportion to my expectations. So how would you define happiness yourself? Director of Harvard Study of Adult Development, Robert Waldinger, shares findings from an ongoing study regarding happiness. The study is more than 75 years in the making. Starting in 1938 with a group of Harvard College students, the study has evolved to include more participants, and every 2 years, a research group conducts interviews, obtains medical records, and completes brain scans. Waldinger states, the clearest message that we can get from this 75-year-plus study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. That's it. And the 3 main lessons learned from the study are about relationships. 1, the more socially connected someone is to family, friends, and community, the healthier and happier that they are. People who are isolated suffer from poorer health and are less happy. 2, the next lesson learned is regarding the quality of relationships. Someone can be in a crowd and still be lonely. So the number of friends someone has doesn't indicate happiness, but having close connections does. And 3, the final lesson learned is that good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they also protect our brains. The study found that when participants had others to lean on and continually developed close relationships, these individuals experienced more overall happiness. So, we know the importance of having good relationships to be happy, but how do we develop and sustain good relationships? This can be as simple as replacing screen time with FaceTime. You know, face-to-face time with people that you care about or people that you're cultivating new relationships with. Or you can liven up a relationship by doing something new together. Maybe you've been together for a long time, but just to spice it up, you want to create a new activity. How about something like reestablishing date night or starting a weekly game night with a group of friends? You can reach out to family members that you've lost touch with too. Or try joining a group of like-minded individuals. Websites like meetup.com are great for meeting new people. Maybe you want to join a walking group or learn a new skill. Whatever you're interested in, simply Google a subject in your area, talk to your local chamber, or look it up in your local paper under community events, and you'll find lots of ways that you can connect with those around you. Gratitude is a great way to foster a happier disposition too. Robert A. Emmons, PhD, has been coined as the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. His research findings show that people who regularly practice gratitude report experiencing more joy, pleasure, optimism, happiness, and even higher levels of positive emotions. Emmons emphasizes the importance of making a distinction between feeling grateful and being grateful. So according to Emmons, feelings develop from the way that we see the world, the thoughts that we have about the way that things are, and the perceptions of the way that we think things should be. Being grateful, on the other hand, is a choice. Gratitude provides a perspective from which we can view life in its entirety and not be overwhelmed by temporary circumstances. So let's take a look at techniques for becoming more grateful. How about starting a journal? If you haven't done it before, set aside time each day to recall and record moments of gratitude. This does not have to be monumental. For instance, at the end of my day, I just look for 5 things to be grateful for. Sometimes I write them down. Sometimes I just spend a few moments just really thinking about them. They don't have to be anything profound, you know, and sometimes they aren't at all. Well, the truth is, most of the time, they're not profound. Sometimes my journal reads like this. Today, I'm grateful for, and then I just make a list. Breath, oatmeal for breakfast, the 5 minutes I took to feel the sun on my face, my faith, the gift of another day with my husband. And then I close the cover on the book. Here's another way that you can find more ways to be grateful. You can reflect on these questions. What have I received from blank? What have I given to blank? And what troubles or difficulties have I caused? Or, I think prayers of gratitude are considered in many spiritual traditions as the most powerful form of prayer. So if prayer is your go-to, consider adding prayer of gratitude in. Also, visual reminders are a great way to trigger mindfulness and thoughts of gratitude. You can practice the motions, you know, smiling, saying thank you, writing letters of gratitude regularly. All of those things will strengthen the emotion of gratitude. Each circumstance offers an opportunity for gratitude. Like just be creative. Look for new situations where you can express gratitude in your way, the way that works best for you. Mindfulness is defined as a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations used as a therapeutic technique. Ultimately, mindfulness is really the focus on the here and now. It is about being in the present moment. And let me tell you, achieving mindfulness is not easy. It takes practice. Research has really shown that those who practice mindfulness regularly are happier because their thoughts are not consumed by thoughts of fear for something that is yet to come, or controlling future situations, or analyzing circumstances that are already behind us. Mindfulness teaches the ability to center yourself and develop your inner resources, which in turn deepens happiness. So how can mindfulness lead to happiness? Well, when you achieve that state of mindfulness and you can live in the right now, in this moment, it helps because it begins to end that loop of negative thoughts that are running through your head. I may have shared this with you before, but the average human being, research has shown us, has approximately 80,000 thoughts per day. And it tells us, research tells us, that about 80% of those thoughts are negative, and most of them are self-directed. So mindfulness and being in the present moment can end that loop of negative thoughts. It can also help you to connect better with others because we're in this moment, right? And by deepening your inner contentment. And one more thing, by enhancing the experience of gratitude itself. But like I said, mindfulness doesn't happen automatically. But with a little practice, you can learn to retrain your brain. So here's an exercise I want to share with you to get you started. It's called the 5 senses exercise. The goal of mindfulness is to focus on the current moment, like I said. So this exercise is just kind of a great way to get started. Notice 5 things that you can see. And try focusing on something that you don't normally notice, like a shadow or a reflection, maybe a leaf, something like that. So the first step, notice 5 things that you can see. Next, notice 4 things that you can feel. So bring awareness to these things that you currently feel, like the texture of your clothes, or a breeze, or the weight of your body in the chair. Now, notice 3 things that you can hear. So listen and mentally note 3 things that you can hear. Maybe it's a bird chirping, or the hum of your refrigerator, or the sound of your pen on paper as you're taking notes. Then notice 2 things that you can smell. Try to identify smells that you wouldn't normally notice. For instance, right now, I can smell the candle that I have burning. It incidentally smells like dark chocolate. The fresh flowers in my room, and the orange spiced tea in my cup. And finally, notice 1 thing that you can taste. This might be a sip of water, or a mint, or gum in your mouth. Some food that you've recently, that maybe you're just munching on now. Once you're comfortable with the idea of mindfulness, try this technique to deepen your practice. Step 1, I want you to turn off automatic pilot. And you can do that by bringing awareness to what you're doing, what you're thinking, and what you're sensing in the moment. Take a moment to settle into a comfortable posture and notice the thoughts that are coming up and acknowledge your feelings. And then just let them pass. Step 2, bring awareness to your breath. Focus only on the act of breathing and how your body reacts and feels with each breath. For example, how your chest rises and falls, how your belly pushes in and out, how your lungs expand and contract. Feel your breath as it passes through your nose and down the back of your throat. Find the pattern of your breath and anchor yourself to the present moment with this awareness. Step 3, expand your awareness outward by noticing the sensations that you're experiencing, like tightness or aches, or maybe a lightness in your face or shoulders. You can take this a step further by expanding your awareness even further to the environment that is around you. So Nancy Etkoff is an evolutionary psychologist and instructor of the science of happiness, and she does this at the Harvard Medical School. Her research into the question of happiness exposes, well, surprising results. Her findings reinforce things that we should have known all along, like the fact that having flowers in the house does make us happier. In her TED Talk, Etkoff says, we are wired to pursue happiness, not only to enjoy it, but to want more and more of it. One of the key points in the science of happiness is that happiness and unhappiness are not endpoints of a single continuum. In a study of recovering hospital patients, 2 groups were examined. One group faced a brick wall, while the other group looked out on trees and nature. The group who looked out on the brick wall were actually in the hospital longer. They needed more medication, and they had more medical complications. According to Etkoff, happiness is contagious, and our happiness will have a positive effect on our friends, but actually, it also has a positive effect on our friends' friends. Research is growing on the connection that nature makes us healthier and happier people. A 30-day study was conducted that involved people doing something wild every day for 30 consecutive days. Participants were asked to complete a survey at the beginning and at the end of the study about their perceived connection to nature, how they interacted with nature, and how they felt about their health and their happiness. And the study showed that there was a scientifically significant increase in people's health, happiness, and connection to nature just by being encouraged to spend time with it. Amazingly, the participants' newfound happiness was even sustained for months following the challenge. One theory accounting for the nature-happiness link is the biophilia hypothesis, which suggests that we love nature because we evolved in it. So nature teaches us that there is nothing wrong with us. In fact, studies show that people's body image improves by focusing on nature. The diversity found in nature really reinforces the beauty in being different. Time slows down. Urgency and deadlines melt away. Ecosystems embody harmony and balance. Quietly witnessing this balance and harmony renews our own appreciation. So nature calls you back to reality, allowing you to surrender comfort, control, and reinforces acceptance. As we remove the chaotic noises of society and replace them with sounds of nature, we become calmer. Being in nature provides a sense of awe. We realize that there are things at play much larger than us. So what about nature makes you happy? And studies show, lottery winners, going back to our lottery winners, that lottery winners do not become significantly happier than they were before. Extremely rich people are not significantly happier than others are either. Research has found that possessing wealth and material goods does not lead to happiness. Giving them away is what actually does. So studies of people who practice volunteering have shown that they have better mental health and increased longevity. Another study has shown donating money or spending money on experiences rather than material goods is positively correlated with happiness. By being more generous and altruistic, happiness increases with the amount of money you give to people in need, or by volunteering, or by spending more time helping other people. So here's a list of different ways to give back without spending money. Just some thoughts to ponder. Volunteer for a cause that you care about. Cook for those in need. You can give blood or become a mentor. Assist seniors in need. Lift a soldier's spirits. Help build a house. Foster an animal. Share your skills. Help a child learn to read. How about picking up trash in your community? And of course, there's lots more ways that you can give of yourself. So here are some proven techniques to cultivate more happiness. 1, just savor the moment. Just be in the moment. Also, take control of your time. Oh, act happy. Studies show us that when we actually look into the mirror and smile at ourselves, even if we're not feeling happy, it actually creates happiness. So act happy. Exercise and make time for sleep. Give time and attention to close relationships. Be mindful. Express gratitude and give more. The key to happiness is knowing you have the power to choose what to accept and what to let go. So before we part, I just want to take a moment to reflect on how this quote makes you feel. I, for one, feel empowered and excited knowing that I actually have the ability to choose happiness. So I want to thank you all for sharing this experience with me. I love sharing this topic with people, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors to living happier lives. If you have any questions or comments about anything that I've shared or that you've learned today, please don't hesitate to email me. You can reach me at laura@lauraesummers.com. I'd love to hear from you, and know that I'm always here to support you. So we've reached the end of today's webinar, and as I promised in the beginning, if you stayed until the end, I have an offer for you. If you are motivated and excited to learn more about coaching and how it can get you from where you are to where you want to be, please sign up for a free discovery session by scheduling with me through my website. That's www.lauraesummers.com. And let me know that you've watched this webinar on the science behind happiness. And should you choose to continue coaching after your free discovery session, you'll be able to take advantage of half-price coaching sessions with me. That's a 50% savings on a coaching program. And remember, it's my passion to help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. So thank you again for being here today. I look forward to talking with you soon. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. I'd love to be in contact with you. And remember, you have the power to choose happiness.